friends, welcome back to Belle's Library. I'm Heather, and today we have another book review for you for The Woman in the Library. This came out on June 7th, 2022, and it is a really fun mystery book that we're going to dive into in just a moment. But first, you've got to click that subscribe button down below. Also, you can follow me on Instagram and Goodreads and Storycraft, all linked down below as well. Would love to have you. Would love to talk books like crazy, so let's do it. Now, let's go ahead and jump into The Woman in the Library by Sulari Gentill, I think is how you say it. So, like I said, this came out June 7th, so just a couple months ago. A little behind with my review, but you know what? Better late than never. So I'm kind of digging this little spot layout that I got going on. I decided that I'm going to use my daughter's beanbag chair just to let's make it a little more casual, a little more comfy. I'm kind of digging it, you guys. Anyways, we're going to run through a synopsis of this book, which is going to be a little tricky because it's a little confusing to kind of put into words what's going on here. And then I will give you some thoughts and maybe some recommendations. I did also read this during Summerween, so I'll link that vlog if you want to watch as I'm kind of reading more vlog style. You can do that as well, so I'll have it up top and down below for you. Okay, so the way that this book is kind of explained is that we're following, so we're at the Boston Public Library, and then we hear this woman scream, and the security guards, they rush off and they say nobody leave, and they go to investigate what's going on. And in midst of all of this, we have these four people who had been sitting at the same table studying, doing their thing, writing stories, whatever. They all start talking and they kind of become friends, and so we're following along with their friendship. They go out for coffee, they're getting to know each other, and also we're finding a little bit more about what happened with this woman who was screaming, and one of these four people is a murderer. So that is our general setup to this story. Is it exactly that? No, that is definitely a part of the story, and we are following that storyline, and we're trying to figure out what happened with this woman who screamed and essentially she got murdered. We have a murder mystery going on, guys, okay? And we're trying to figure out which of these four friends is a murderer and such going on there. But we also have this layered book within a book type thing going on, in which this is a book kind of being written, and then we're following the author, and she is sending out these chapters of the book to somebody else, and we're getting letters from this other fan person who's kind of giving her tips like, I love your books, oh, I love this about it, maybe you could try this, and they live in Boston, and they're trying to help her with, some Boston information. And then those letters kind of start going a little sideways as well. So we kind of got these couple different mysteries going on, but it all kind of mixes together, and it's it took me a while, and I listened to this on audiobook, so this may be a major reason why it took me a while to kind of separate the two stories. And that was a little confusing, but not it wasn't in a terrible way. The first good half, I was just I'm confused as to how these stories are kind of separating, but it was intriguing. I was interested in trying to figure it out, and I was into it, and it was good. It was good. And then the idea that I almost feel like we could have taken out the other side of the story where we're following the author writing this story and the extra letters being sent back and forth between her and this other person who is talking to them, but it also kind of added something a little intriguing and different and interesting as well, because we're also figuring out this other mystery of what's going on with this guy and why his letters are starting to get more and more weird, and kind of that side tangent. So it was interesting to have that, but I don't know that it was necessary to the story, and I don't know that it added anything. I don't know how I feel about it still, and it's been a little bit since I've read it. It's been like a month. I do think that this book, not super thrilling. It's much more mystery. So this is going to be for someone who enjoys a good mystery. And if you like to take all those little clues and piece them together and try to figure it out, I think you can do that with this mystery. I think that in some ways for me it was maybe a little too obvious. I really was just like, I'm pretty sure I know who did this. It seems pretty like obvious to me. But, you know, you can take those clues, and some people just really like to kind of pull those clues together and try and figure it out. And I think that it's laid out in a way to where you can really do that with the story, and you can make like a little character arc, and you can try and like fill it in and figure things out. And I think that that's kind of fun and interesting sometimes with a good mystery book. So if you want just a straight mystery that you can do that with, this is a great book for that. I think that, you know, it's a little predictable at times, but still enjoyable. So that's a recommendation for those of you who like that. I also think it's kind of interesting I'm not intending to ever write a book myself. That is just not an avenue that I would go down. I'm not a great writer. I'm not interested in writing. But if you are, or even if you're not, I guess, because I still enjoy this part, I thought it was very intriguing the way that the research that goes into a book, like you really start thinking about the little things that you would have to think of to make your story credible. And like if you need to go to some of these places or really look up pictures and information online to really make sure that your story is actually correct. I thought that was something that was really well addressed in this story and very intriguing. It was interesting, for sure. All of these four friends had their own issues and questionable morals and different stuff that they were dealing with, which, I mean, always adds to the characters and makes for a more interesting mystery, of course. Do feel like they became friends rather quickly and really, you know, invested in each other's lives and business rather fast, but, you know, it's a story. What are you going to do? And that's kind of, you know, my general thoughts and ideas and recommendations for you guys on this one. I ended up rating this one 3.5 stars. I thought it was pretty good, but it wasn't anything that like blew my mind amazing. But overall, I had a good time listening to it. It was a really quick audiobook that I listened to. I appreciate the fact that I got an arc for this one from the NetGalley family. Sorry, just could not think of the proper terms there. I got a NetGalley arc, so thank you to the publishers for allowing me to have that. I did end up listening to it on an audiobook instead of reading the e-arc, but, you know, wanted to make sure I put a review out here because they were so nice to send that to me. But that's kind of what I got for you guys right now, and there it is. And I hope that you guys got something from this. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day and week and month and year and lots of great reading. And I will talk to you guys soon. Bye!